y dos, y dos, una, y dos, una, y dos.
Hello, and welcome to Cortesnyc Livestream podcast. This is a bi-weekly show broadcasting out of New York. It is hosted by myself, Cortesnyc, and
Carla de Puerto Rico.
And this is a podcast where we share our views about art, creativity, and city life from a Latino perspective. And this is episode 4, Inspire. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to find creativity around you in your daily activities.
And on hashtag Culture Talk, we're going to be talking about our favorite Spanish language movies.
And as always, at the end, we'll be
Hablando español.
speaking Spanish. So I think we can go right into hashtag art life.
Yeah.
So how do you find inspiration in your daily activities? How do you're doing food shopping, you're cooking, what do we all do? Brush our teeth, get up in the morning, take a shower.
Yeah.
Ooh, the shower is inspiring.
It is very inspiring.
Isn't
I can
it?
spend there like an hour. I have conversations with people. Everything that I wanted to say ever.
So let's do
Say in
this.
the shower.
So why don't we break this section down into a daily routine, and then how could we find inspiration throughout the day? So let's start right off the top in the morning. First thing in the morning, the shower.
Yeah.
So most of us, like myself, I'm in and I'm out. I take no time. I don't have time. You know, I'm a New Yorker. I gotta run. I gotta just wash the important stuff and then get out and go and run, right? But within those few moments that you're in there, you know, let's say you put on a little radio or a podcast in the background while you're getting ready. You put on a little radio station, you're listening to some music, whatever it is, or you press your playlist on your SoundCloud and on your Spotify, whatever. Right. And you have just a few minutes, let's say 10 minutes. How long does the shower take? 10, 15 minutes? 20?
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
You have 20 minutes of you time, right? Use that time. That's your inspiration time. That's the time to just daydream a little. So you let your mind wander. So you're taking a shower, you let your mind wander.
I
The
always
water, you hear that waterfall sound, right? It sounds like rain. It sounds like waterfall. You're shampooing. You're closing your eyes. So for a quick minute in the morning, you have some time where you actually keep your eyes closed. You have water falling on your head. You're not in your shower anymore. Your brain goes
Somewhere else.
You go across the oceans to a tropical place. I don't know where you go. You know, wherever you want to go, you go to that place. And just for that little period of time, that's a really good time to like get your day focused, get some ideas going. Depending on your day job, you know, that's a good time for you to plan out your day and then also your theme for the day. And that might be a good time to think about how do you manage your day with this theme so that people don't sidetrack you.
Yeah.
You might be busy at work. You might have a busy day, so you might have meetings, or you might have something you have to be preparing for, or if you're going to school, you might have a test. You know, whatever it might be that you're not looking forward to. But still, you should still be able to manage that with a theme and say, my theme for today is, let's say my theme for today will be, let's just say it's energy. And you just use that keyword.
Okay.
And just hold that keyword in your head, energy. Now, you might not literally say energy. You might just think energy.
About
But unless if you're a robot, I think that you walk around your daily life with something in the back of your head. So let that thing be something inspiring. So I try to do that. I don't necessarily think of a word, but I do think of the theme when I'm getting ready in the morning. I try to set a tone for the day. And that usually makes the rest of the day kind of unfold naturally. By the time that you have gotten dressed, put on your shoes, gotten all your things, and gotten on the train, your brain is already on stage 2 of that theme.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time you get to your job, you're in full mode and you can engage with other people and not let them make you part of their agenda, but you instead, you hold on to your agenda and you hold on to your creativity.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know how other people are thinking through the day. So then you have to interact with people that maybe they're having a bad time at home, or maybe they are not that inspired, or they are just having a bad day. And then here you are trying to keep your positivity going and your energy going. And it can be tough. And it's even worse when you're working in customer service. It is horrible. Like, you think, oh my God, this day is going great. Is so, everything is fine. Everything is working out. I'm doing so much, blah, blah. And it comes this customer, or it comes this manager, or it comes something to tell you something. And then it just threw you off.
All right.
Forever, for the whole rest of the day.
So I understand that, and to that I will say martial arts. I find inspiration in martial arts. People throw energy at you. You use their energy against them. You kind of just swivel their energy.
Oh, you are like the Black
judo,
Panther.
like judo, yeah, like Black Panther. I use the energy they give at me, the negativity, and I just kind of let it not hit me, but just roll off me. Obviously, everybody has their own specific situation, so that is going to be more difficult for some people than others. But in general, the point is to hold on to that initial theme in your head of what your day was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's say we get past that first hurdle, and you manage to hold on to that theme, right? So you have that theme in your head. Now you're sitting in your office, you're doing your work, you have a conversation with people, you start to do your job. When people start to talk to you, if you did hold on to that theme, you will find meaning in what they're saying to you with that theme. That theme should not, their conversation should not just take you out of your theme. You should be able to still hold on to your theme. That's the trick. The trick is to let the things around you add to your theme, not take away from it. You are the star of your movie, and you have your theme. Don't let others make you become the background to their movie. You need to still retain your theme and build on your theme. It doesn't mean that you have to be loud and obnoxious. It doesn't mean that you have to be pushy. It just means that you have to find a safe place for your personal thoughts, your creative energy, and hold on to it until you get to that point where you can release it again. That might happen at lunchtime, which is usually when it happens. That goes into my next part of how to have a creative day, right? In a regular work day. If you're not working as a full-time artist, if you're working other types of work, I think that's where this theme is going to now.
Yeah.
How do you hold on to that creativity? So your lunch break. Now you have your lunch break. So what do you do in your lunch break? Are you going to go and chit-chat and bullshit and waste time with a coworker? Maybe, but you shouldn't. What you should do, and the thing that you should try to strive to do, is find a creative break. Give yourself a creative break. They call it like a creative date, where you say to yourself, okay, this lunch break, I'm going to treat myself right. I'm going to take myself somewhere. That could be the library for some people. That could be, for some people, that could go shopping, like window shopping. Let me go to my favorite store. Because, or it could be even if you just want to go to a candy store and just walk around and look at all the candy and look at all the colors and think about all the sweets and everything. Maybe buy yourself a little sweet. But if you treat yourself right on your lunch break and you give yourself a creative date, you will nurture that creative energy in you, and your brain is going to daydream about that thing that you were thinking about. And all of a sudden, now you extended your creative theme from the morning to the lunch break. And that's already a hurdle that you've accomplished, right? You've already achieved a hurdle.
Yeah.
Another thing, I mean, for me personally, I think when I'm really in a rut and I'm not sure where to go on my lunch break, for me, that's the library always. If I go to the library or I go to a bookstore, actually by my job, there's a Japanese bookstore that I go to, and I can just look through a few books and boom, I'm full of energy. Like, I just need to look through maybe 5 books. Like, look through one, okay, whatever. Look through another one, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. By the time I get to the 5th book, I'm full of energy. I'm ready to go to a desk somewhere and do some work. I'm ready to get something going. Like, that's enough for me. When that doesn't work, sometimes for me, to keep my inspiration going, a cup of coffee on my lunch break, sit down, usually find a good coffee shop with good music. Some coffee shops don't have any music, but if you find one that has a decent little background environment, some good ambiance, sit down, start writing, start sketching. I like to sketch. If I don't have anything to sketch at all, I'll sketch what I'm seeing in front of me. And that's the minimum that I should be doing, is sketching what's in front of me. So if at the minimum, I'll sketch maybe my coffee cup. I'll sketch the people sitting in the room with me. I'll sketch the room. If I don't have that, I'll just write my name over and over again and play with lettering and start inventing lettering with my name. But the idea is to give yourself a creative break in the middle of your day, and that'll retain that energy that you started in the morning. I don't know how that would apply to you, Carla.
Yeah.
That's real specific.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe on my way to school, which is a long ride, I try to listen to something. Now I'm trying to listen to podcasts, listen to something, because the ride, it can be so tough. It can be in the morning, everybody's running. The train is always full of people and you don't want to get upset. So it's better if you just keep it to yourself and keep listening to something, and at least you can, it's not like you're gonna ignore everybody, but you have something going on in your head, so you don't have to interact or get upset with other people when you feel like you're so stuck on a train. And then I guess also listening to music, because sometimes I actually forget to listen to music, which is crazy, but I do, because I like to sing. So if I'm in the train, I'm not gonna be singing out loud while I'm listening to the music.
If you did, just hold a cup. You get
Exactly.
some money. I'll throw you some money.
Yeah, that's actually something that when I was back in Puerto Rico, because I had a car, I used to listen at least to the radio station. They will always play music, and I will sing every single time because I was in my car. Yeah. And that's something that I miss, because now I cannot do that. Like, I don't feel like the freedom to just do that. So I guess listening to music, listening to podcasts, maybe watching something cool, something like a TV show that is inspiring, or movies that are inspiring.
So on the subject of movies, now we'll go into after work.
Yeah, that's more after
because work. So you made it through the day, right? And whatever, let's say you're working, I'm going to use a really extreme scenario, but let's say you're working in a gasoline station. You're working in a gasoline station, you made it through the day, it was hard. You pumped gas all day, you have no opportunity to sit somewhere and draw or write or do the thing you love, right? So you're working with your hands, and you're working with customers, so you can't really just ignore the world. Yeah. But so you get to that point at the end of the day. Now you have to call the day over, right? You gotta say, okay, my day's over. What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna go drink and disappear into oblivion, or are you gonna use that creative energy that you started in the morning with? That's the trick, right there. That's up to you, and you need to confront that, right? You need to confront that little demon that tells you, relax, go home, lay down, turn on the TV, zone out. Now, I can't say that I don't do that. I have those moments, and I do it. Sometimes I'll get into it like for like a whole week. I just won't do anything. I'll be a vegetable, and that's horrible. But I will do that. But then I'll dig myself out. I'll realize that I gave myself that week of incubation to just kind of like let that creative juice kind of build up. But after work, the best thing you could do after work is get to your desk, go home, get to your painting easel. If it's your guitar, get to your guitar. If it's to the microphone, to your recording thing, if it's to your laptop, do whatever you got to do. Run to the place that is your creative place and let it out. You got to let it out. You have to push yourself to let out that idea or that theme. Doesn't have to be a finished project. I'm not telling you to run home and finish a project. I'm telling you to run home and keep that theme going, because the times that we're living in now, you're bombarded with so much information left and right. Even with we didn't even discuss what the telephone does to you all day. Yeah. You're surfing through Instagram, you're surfing through whatever, and you're getting information left and right, and it's dragging you all over the place. So at the end of the day, if you can retain a train of thought that at the end of the day, you still have that theme in your head. And whatever that theme that you chose was, then you accomplished something. You accomplished a big thing. You have a little gem, a little jewel in your hands, you know? Let it out in some way. I think for myself, what I like to do when I get home, I like to get on the guitar. If I can't draw, if I don't really have that motivation to draw or to sketch, I'll get on the guitar, I'll play a few chords, I'll go through some exercises just to kind of let it out. You know what I mean? If I have my sketchbook, if I'm in sketch mode, you know, I'll just sit down, I'll sketch a little bit, I'll draw a little bit, I'll review some notes, do some of that. If I'm editing, if I'm at the time I'm editing movies or something, I'll go onto the computer, I'll start editing, even if I edit for just 30 minutes. But as long as I have that theme in my head, that creative energy driving me, there is an exercise there that is happening that will allow me to continue and complete the day correctly. I mean, I don't know, but cooking is another exercise. Like once you get home, you start cooking, you start doing things, maybe a few little chores in the house. Like that also opens up your head and kind of lets it all out and kind of, you know, if you have a partner, someone you live with, you know, you start talking, you start like letting it all out.
Yeah.
Any way to decompress is what it's called. Decompressing, letting all that crazy information you got throughout the day, letting it just slide off of you. And then maybe you'll get back to that theme that you woke up with. Because that theme that you woke up with is that creative energy. When you're born screaming, right? When you wake up in the morning, you don't scream anymore, but you wake up with ideas. You have to hold on to those ideas. That's your creative energy. So more tangible things. I'm speaking very airy and like very up in the air right now.
Yeah.
More tangible things you could do. A checklist. Have books. When was the last time you bought a book? I know that everybody's online right now. Everybody does that. But a tangible physical book helps a lot to disconnect you from the internet, to disconnect you from your phone. So magazines, if you on your lunch break you picked up a few magazines, bring them home at the end of the day while you're eating, just kind of flick through them, just kind of like let that exercise of looking at physical paper and looking at photos and read a little something, that helps. Movies, if you're gonna sit down and watch movies, pick a theme, look for a movie. Don't just pick the latest movie out. Dig around, find a genre, find a theme, get invested in the content of the movie. Look for a director or a subject matter that you like. Let's say if you were thinking the whole day about I don't know, ferry boats in Turkey. Google search that. Is there a movie about ferry boats in Turkey? And then look up that documentary or look up that movie. If there's a theme that you had early on in the day, maybe finding a documentary about that or finding a movie about that will continue that theme, continue that energy, and that helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Like it develops your inspiration, but also your curiosity about it. Yeah. Looking for the word. Almost didn't come out, but it did.
She's looking around. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
She's taking little bows everywhere. Curiosity is the key word to everything we just said. Feed your curiosity.
And sometimes it can be. It's not easy, but yeah, like force yourself to look for something else, something different, something that you haven't seen, something that is gonna help you grow. Because after a while, like me going to school right now, I feel like every day is kind of inspiring in a way in the classroom, because you're listening to other people's ideas and what they have to say, the professor, what they are teaching you, and the way you take that idea, and the opportunity for you to share your ideas. But if you are already out of that stage of your life, maybe you need to still build up your inspiration and curiosity and learn more, because every day, every single time, there's something else that we can learn about.
Yeah, curiosity, man, you nailed it with that. Curiosity is the key word to all of this. How are you curious? How can you stay curious if you're being bombarded with information? They don't even now. Modern life, modern living doesn't give you the opportunity to be curious. They suggest things for you. They give you suggestions online.
Yeah.
You know, when you obviously at your job, you're constantly being told what to think and what to do. You're not allowed to be curious. They don't want you to be curious. So how to hold on and retain to your curiosity? One of the things that you learn when you go to art school is the concept of your inner child, right? Nurturing your inner child. That's your inner artist. But when they say inner child, they mean curiosity. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about that child that inside of you at that age when you first started daydreaming and looking at the sky and thinking, or looking at the stars and thinking, or just looking at people watching and thinking. A lot of times people say they like to people watch, right? A lot of people say, I like to people watch. I like to hang out in a park and just look at people. Do that on your lunch break. People watch. Yeah. People watching is a great exercise. You look at people coming back and forth, walking, and you see the expressions on their faces and their body gestures. And that tells you an entire story. And you're not really, I'm not telling you to sit there and like a madman and just stare at people and think about where are they going, what are they doing. But your body reacts to that, and you don't realize it, but it does. Your actual psyche reacts to other people's gestures because they're expressing themselves. So you're constantly seeing, like, it's basically like watching figure drawing walking past you left and right. People are expressing themselves with their gestures, and you're taking it in, and you're reading into it. You know what I mean? And they're not demanding anything of you. They're just giving you impressions as they're walking back and forth on your lunch break.
Right.
So curiosity is a great word. I think you nailed it with that. That's a great word. I think the last thing for inspiration that I would say is you need to, if you find yourself in a rut, in a dead end, and you have, I don't know, a dry spell where you haven't been able to be creative for a while, you need to, the last thing you want to do is worry about it. Don't think about your creativity and your lack of it. You need to go back into your archives. You need to dig around into what you have done in the past. I think that's going to be the last part of this conversation is when you run out of curiosity, you run out of inspiration, your theme for the day didn't work, your lunch break went bad, you need to go home, go to your safe place, and look up and find all the old stuff that you've done and kind of reanalyze it and reinvest in it with fresh eyes. I'm not telling you to go critique it and destroy it. I'm telling you to look at it as a fan would.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at it like your own fan and just look at it and say, okay, what was good about this? Why do I like this? You know what I mean? Don't ask yourself, why do I like this? Like in a negative way. Ask yourself, why do I like it in a positive way? Because you do like it. It's yours. Why do you like it? What happened there? And then try to imagine, how did that begin? Where did that start? Where did it come from? What was the origin of the idea that sparked that piece? Do that. Do it with all the pieces. Now, if you're a singer, I would imagine you would go back to some old recordings, right?
Old recordings or videos. In my case, that I have videos on YouTube. I haven't done it in a while. And yeah, I'll go back and see it. And then what I see is how much I have grown as a singer.
Okay.
Like from starting in YouTube, I was really not scared, but timid in YouTube. And that wasn't which is weird. That wasn't the case when I was singing live. When I was singing live, I was very comfortable, but doing it in YouTube in a video, because we have to do it more than once, and the space, it was a little bit too, like I couldn't express myself completely. So that was tough. But then looking at it now I feel like, okay, I guess there was a progress, and it's good to have this documentary because now I know that you can still grow and you can see changes, and maybe that will inspire you to continue doing it.
Yeah, so definitely having an archive of your work is important. That might go into a different subject matter later,
Yeah.
documenting your work, archiving your work.
Yeah.
That's your real estate as an artist. That's where you invest in your archive of work, your body of work. It's going to dig you out of these holes in the future when you feel uninspired. Sometimes also inspiration, I'll just add it on to the tail end of this conversation. Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll find inspiration in having a conversation with my father. I'll just give my father a call. We'll talk for a little while, and it'll just open me up. Sometimes I find inspiration in having a conversation with my sons.
Yeah.
I'll sit down with them. We'll talk about something. They'll talk about something else, and they'll give me a perspective on something that I didn't think of, maybe a movie or a song or something that they heard of,
Yeah.
maybe something in politics, and I'll just be like, whoa. Politics is another thing. I mean, right now politics is a hot topic.
Yes.
We're in a
Too
mess right now.
complicated.
Fuck Trump. But politics is also a form of inspiration. It can lead you to maybe a little anger, a little frustration, and that might come out in music or art.
Yeah.
Also,
There are different apps also that you can use, apps that they're social, but they're social in a way where you can still express yourself and nobody's gonna judge you. And that's pretty cool. I found one that is called, it's for singing. So everybody's singing either with videos or just audio, and you can sing with somebody else. So I think that's something cool, and they'll give you points and stuff like that. So things like that also help.
Oh, and another good one is it sounds corny, but on Instagram they have a lot of challenges. Inktober is one. Things where you have to sketch every day or try to do a quick sketch or whatever, or draw every day or ink every day, things like that. That's interesting also. That helps to push you. That helps to motivate you and keep you going, and maybe loosen up the noose that you have around your neck, and kind of let you loosen up and let your creativity flow. And then I think puzzles and things like that sometimes help. Playing games, letting your art be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to make your art fun again, so that it's not so serious. I think being too serious with your art can sometimes lock you down into a dead end.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. Well, I think we explored inspiration enough.
We hope you guys feel inspired now.
I really hope so. And if not, I hope you guys feel the challenge to go find inspiration. If you guys have keys to inspiration, tips that you guys might have to inspire us, let us know. #Cortesnyc Livestream
On Instagram and Facebook.
All right, guys.
Pero si no estás haciendo todo igual, no tiene ningún color el paso que hace. Separa menos tiempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 y 10.
Culture talk, my favorite part of the show, because I get to sit back and let Carla do all the work.
Oh my God.
Culture talk, #Culture talk. This is a section. This is Carla's baby. This is where Carla talks to you about cultural things, Latino cultural things, pop cultural things, social things. Okay, she brings it all. All right. So this section, what are you going to talk about this time?
Yeah, so this time I'm going to talk about Spanish language movies. And I'm going to share with you different Spanish language movies that I've watched in the past. Some of them actually Cortez introduced me to them. I never knew about them because I'm more before I was more into rom-com and very silly movies. Nothing so crazy.
But you got some crazy ones on that list. You got some that I've never seen. That
well,
I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's true. Well, first I'm
All right,
gonna.
wait. So just to clarify,
Yes.
Spanish language. So these are movies
In Spanish.
Made from different countries, right?
In
Because some of them
countries, some of them are from Spain. Yeah, I'm gonna go into it when I explain the movies. But some of them are from Spain, and obviously that's why they're in Spanish. Some of them are from Mexico. Others are from Latin America.
Okay.
So yeah, we have different ones. Some of them actually were made here in the United States, but they're in Spanish.
Gotcha.
But they're all in Spanish.
Gotcha.
That's the main point of this section.
Cut you loose. Go.
Yeah. So first, I want to talk about the movie Sin Nombre, or Without a Name. The producers of this movie were Diego Luna and Gabriel García Bernal. And this movie basically explores the migration from Latin America and Central America specifically to United States. So it's this girl, she's looking for her father that is in United States, if I'm correct. And then she meets this guy, which is he's part of a gang, but he's trying to just leave that life behind. And that's how the story began, and they fall in love, and crazy things happen.
No spoilers, exactly.
No spoilers, yeah.
But yeah, I saw that one. That was actually a good drama. It dealt with gangs, but lightly. It didn't go too deep. I think that's the backdrop to this adventure story.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I like that one. Sin Nombre.
Sin Nombre. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the second one that I have in my list is La Vendedora de Rosas,
Woo!
which is a Colombian movie.
And novela.
Slash novela, yeah, but we're not talking about the novela, we're talking about the movie.
Okay.
And the movie, it actually used real kids, so they were not actors.
Real street kids,
because they're also showing the life of street kids in Colombia and what they do to survive, how many things they have to go through, and all the friends and everything that happens in that group of friends. So yeah, Chris, what do you think about that movie?
That was a. I remember when I first heard of it. It's substantially old, right? It's like
yeah.
It's like 80s, I think, or 90s.
Yeah, I think
probably
it was
90s.
90s.
Yeah, and I think when I first heard of it, I didn't know what to think of it. I grew up knowing about gamines in Colombia. Gamines are like the street kids. The homeless kids, and I didn't know that they would actually document them and tell a story. So when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this really fleshed out the idea visually. The actors, I heard the drama behind them. If you look up La Vendedora de Rosas and you see the movie, and then you look up the actors.
Yeah, you can look up like real life Vendedora de Rosas.
Yeah, like the actual actors, a couple of them died.
Mm-hmm.
The main actress, she went through a lot of personal issues.
So then that's why they made the novela after that. It's in Spanish, but it's really good too. And it's called also La Vendedora de Rosas. It's called Lady, which is the main character, the girl. Lady, La Vendedora de Rosas. And it explores her life, her real life. And then how she ended up doing the movie.
Exactly.
And then everything that happened after the movie, which I think that's one of my top favorite TV shows, novelas /
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that novela, just to make it quick, the accents, the streets, the locations, the culture, it's all there.
Yeah.
When you see the original movie, you see that you can tell that the actors are authentic.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an American urban influence in them. The characters are kind of hip hoppy-ish. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit hip hop because they're kind of taking on this American culture, but they're street kids. So as an American looking at it, it's a little weird to see how it translated to these people out there, and it's sad. It's a little sad too. All right.
Okay, so continuing with the movies, I have two from that are they're Almodovar movies. Almodovar, if I'm correct, he is a director from Spain.
Yeah.
And so I have from him Volver, which is a crazy, crazy, crazy story. It's almost like a science fiction / horror / realism / fantasy. Is crazy.
All his movies are crazy.
Yeah, so Penelope Cruz is part of this movie. And it's like a family theme, and everything that happens in a family, crazy things happen. I don't want to tell you everything about it because the whole movie is a surprise. So Volver is a really good one. And another one from Almodóvar that I liked is, let me get it over here, is La piel que habito, which is The Skin I Live In. That movie,
Antonio
Banderas is on it, and that movie, it's crazy.
That's like a horror.
It's a horror. It's more like a horror.
It's like a horror surreal.
Surreal, yeah. And then everything, it has like a super big twist, which you'll notice at the end. But it is a movie that explores more than just... It explores problem in society, but it also explores a fantasy world. What if people could really do this?
Right.
What if, and then if this happen, what are the consequences of all this?
Right.
Which, yeah, that movie was great.
And what was the name again?
La piel que habito, or The Skin I Live In.
All right.
Okay, and then continuing with other movies, I have here in my list Amores Perros, which is a Mexican movie.
Classic street crime drama.
Yeah, and that one is really cool too. They use the metaphor of the actual dogs,
the fighting dogs
to real people and real characters in the movie. That was great. I have here also Diarios de Motocicleta.
Motorcycle Diaries. That's a good one.
It is a good one. And tell me again, who is the main character in that one?
Oh, well, that's Che Guevara.
Exactly.
So that Motorcycle Diaries is basically it's
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara. It's basically, you guys know who Che is from Cuba.
Yeah.
But he's originally from Argentina. So this talks about his life in Argentina before he joined Fidel in the Cuban Revolution. And it was based on a book, I think. The memoirs of the guy who traveled with Che throughout Argentina. They did a through South America. Up through South America. It's a really good adventure story. I think it shows the bond between the two characters really well, the brotherhood. It shows the character's fragility. It shows his realization of humanity towards the end. So it's a good adventure.
And maybe a background story for the Che before becoming the Che. And then another old one that I have in my list is Como Agua para Chocolate.
That's my favorite.
Which is great. It's
like water for chocolate.
Yeah, it's a romance.
That movie was one of the first Spanish language movies that I saw that was released here in North America, widely released, that felt like a book. I really was watching this movie and it felt like a book. I was reading the movie, especially because I'm listening to the words, but I'm also reading the subtitles. I'm bilingual, so I'm watching both things at the same time. But
it's actually a book.
It was originally a book, so the director did an amazing job of making you feel that it's a surreal fantasy story being told about this romance.
Yeah.
The romantic element felt like a romance novel fantasy, like not even a corny novel. It felt like a fantasy.
No, it is like a fantasy. It's nice. It's really nice.
And then it ties into the mother and the daughter relationship.
Yeah.
The whole movie is about the mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
Without spoilers, you guys got to check it out, like Water for Chocolate.
Yeah. So that was that. And then also I have here Instructions Not Included. This is, I think, Instrucciones no incluidas en español. And this one is very recent, but it is in Spanish. And this is the one that was made in the United States, but the whole thing is in Spanish. Even it's about a guy, right? He has a daughter, and I'm not gonna tell you what happens with the daughter, but even the other character, which is supposed to be an American, she's also speaking Spanish in the movie, which is really funny. And that one went mainstream, and it's really touching too. So that one was
that's
good.
what a comedian, right? That famous comedian now?
Yeah. And another one that I have is El Laberinto del Fauno.
Pan's Labyrinth.
The Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's in Spanish, and it's all about fantasy, talking about science fiction that we were talking about in the last episode.
Yeah.
This one is actually like kind of science fiction and fantasy and children.
It's fantasy. Not? Science fiction is not fantasy. Fantasy is fantasy. Okay. Science fiction is fantasy.
Okay, so then it's fantasy.
Yep.
But it's a genre that is not really touched or related to Spanish speakers or Latinos. So
Yeah, I mean, Pan's Labyrinth, I think the beauty of that one is that it feels like a fairy tale, like a dark fairy tale. And the fact that it's in Spanish and it's placed in Spain, the backdrop to the story is the Civil War, I think.
yeah,
or
yeah,
something like
there's
that.
a war.
So I think that's interesting because it's very brutal mixed with this fantasy
With this-
element. So I think he did a good job.
Yeah. And then to finish, I have one that is a light one. Is romance and it's called Tres Metros Sobre Cielo. It's a Spanish movie and it has a sequel, so it has like 3 movies. And it's really nice. I mean, it's just if you really like that style and that genre, then really, okay, go watch it. The guy that is the main character, that he's like the boyfriend and all this, he's really handsome, so all the girls love this movie. And then the story is really simple, and sometimes you'll think like talking to the girl, the main character in the movie, saying, why are you doing this? Oh my god. But it's a cute movie. And then when you watch the other ones, everything makes sense. They are long though. These movies are long.
All right, and now for me, the last one would be Time Crimes, Los Cronocrímenes. That one is a really good sci-fi. This is a sci-fi / horror. It's a time travel movie. It deals with a crime, and the person time traveling ends up trying to correct the crimes, and it all snowballs. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. It's a good movie. But Los Cronocrímenes, the time crimes.
You wanted me to teach you, right? This is street reality.
All right, so if you like that section, hashtag Culture Talk, hashtag Cortesnyc Livestream. Give us some feedback. If you know of some Spanish language movies, let us know.
Share with us.
And now, our favorite part of the show, Hablando Español.
Hablando Español. So
Speaking Spanish.
today's words are inspiración.
What?
Inspiration.
Inspiración. All right.
Then we also have, this one is a composed one. Vida Cotidiana.
What is that?
It's like
I don't even know what that is. Guys, I just got
Daily-
stumped.
daily life.
Vida
Cotidiana. It's like daily life, yeah.
Vida cotidiana.
Cotidiana.
Cotidiana. Vida cotidiana. That's advanced.
Vida cotidiana. Okay, and then we have a diario, which means daily. A diario.
A diario. Okay.
Something that I do
Like daily.
every day.
So
A
give me an
diario.
example. Put it in a sentence.
A diario. Yo leo libros a diario.
I read books daily. Leo libros a diario. A diario. Okay.
A diario.
Gotcha.
Also, películas,
Películas.
which means movies.
Películas. When I was a kid, and I would always get tongue-tied with película and peluca. So I would say películas.
Películas. Una película.
Películas.
Está como Nemo. Una menonana. Nemonana.
So película is movie. Peluca is wig.
Exactly.
And I would just mix the vowels up. All right,
Yeah.
sorry. Películas, movies.
I got over here also curiosidad.
Curiosidad.
Curiosity.
Curiosity. All right.
Curiosity. You see. Curiosidad.
Curiosidad.
Also creativo.
Creativo.
Creative.
Yeah, creativo.
Creativo. Being creative.
Uno
Oh.
tiene que estar creativo. O tiene que ser creativo. Okay.
Then also I have, this one is also a composed one. Actividades diarias.
Actividades diarias. Daily activities.
Yeah.
Actividades diarias.
Actividades
That R
diarias.
is going to get me there. All right. Actividades diarias.
Daily-
Diarias. There you go.
Yeah. Daily activities.
Very good.
And those are my words for today.
I can throw a couple of words in the
Oh,
mix.
no.
As always, I'll just throw a few words in the mix.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let's start within our movie section. I liked that word, cronocrímenes.
Cronocrímenes.
So chrono, how does that work? That's time?
Chrono is like time, yeah.
How do you say time? No es tiempo.
Es tiempo, but chronos is a type of time because you know when
Like
you
chronology.
use chronology, but cronología. So chronología or chronology is the study of time. So chronos
is the
means
prefix.
time.
It's a
yeah,
prefix.
for
A time prefix.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so time crimes really should be like crímenes de tiempo.
crímenes, or something like that, or crímenes en el tiempo, or
Got you.
something like that.
All right, so that's one.
Yeah.
On the inspiration tip,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about holding on to your theme. So how do you say theme in Spanish?
Tema o
Tema.
es
Theme.
tema o también hay otra palabra. There's another word, but I have to think about it. Yeah.
Okay.
O lema. Tema o lema. Almost like a mission statement.
All right. So, thank you very much. And there you have it. Episode 4 wrapped up, in the bag. If you like what you heard, as always, hashtag us Cortesnyc Livestream on Facebook, Cortesnyc Livestream on Instagram. Next episode 5, will be titled Freestyle. And in that episode, we're going to be discussing drawing from imagination. It's something that I like to do when I'm doing my lettering, when I'm doing my characters. I like to draw from my imagination and just freestyle.
And also on our cultural talk, we're gonna be discussing different styles of Latino music. So old school and anything new that we have heard about.
So reggaeton,
Yeah,
cumbia, all
reggaeton,
the good
cumbia,
stuff.
techno cumbia.
All the good stuff. All right. So
And
next-
also,
and at the end,
we're gonna be
hablando español,
hablando español.
speaking Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So thank you for listening and give us feedback. The more feedback, the more content gets fueled in the future.
Yep.